Okay, guys, so we are live. So for those listening at home, welcome to the Dungeon Musings YouTube channel. My name is Kevin Madison, and I'll be your friendly, what am I going to be here? Your binder master? Soul master? I don't know. Game master, I like
Soul
guess.
Master. Soul master.
Soul master, there we go.
Because we sold our souls.
Today, we are returning to the mortal realms for yet another session, playing Cubicle 7's excellent Warhammer Age of Sigmar RPG, Soulbound. And with me today are the stars of our Iron Groves of Karaznethil campaign or adventure. I'll go the order I've got you guys on the screen here. Why don't you tell us who you are and who you're playing today? First up, we've got Robert.
Hi, I'm Robert. I'm playing Lulisha, and she is a
Stormcast Eternal.
Soulcast Eternal. Stormcast Eternal. Sorry about that. I still don't have all the lingo down, even though I got the books the last week because of a certain somebody. Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing how this goes. She's trying to be a little more relatable than the usual.
Nice. And joining her is John.
Hey everyone, I'm John, and I'm playing Nox, the human battle wizard who has a soul that was forged by the dwarven god Grungnir,
I believe.
Yeah, Grungnir. Okay.
Let's see here.
I forgot an R. Grungnir. There you go. Got it.
Excellent. All right. So, guys, what do you recall from last time? So, I should say, for those listening at home, last time we played this was 2 weeks ago, and that was a bit of a pickup session. We just picked up with some pre-gens and started playing. We had so much fun with it that we elected to continue on this week because we were down a couple other players from our usual guard campaign. One of the things we did not do, one of the things we did last time was we rolled up some random backgrounds and whatnot from the Champions of Order book. Has some great stuff for that. What we didn't do was go through some of the questions. There's some great 10 question stuff. We did get ourselves familiar with Bright Spear last time as well, and learned a little bit about what, I guess first off, what do you guys recall from the story from last time?
Well, amazingly enough, we had no combat, so that was awesome. Actually, it turned out to be a really awesome session, and we spent some time figuring out the linkages between the characters. All of us have nice matching tattoos, including what's her name, Malgram?
Yeah,
Ainson?
Yeah. And we were doing some
Yeah, we looked into our motivations about why we're in town and where we lived, and
we were both doing some research on a couple of our long-term goals. I remember Lulisha's discovery was the I'm trying to look back through the chat because it's one of the things when you think it's a one-shot, you don't necessarily take the best notes.
Well, unfortunately, I used this same game for a different session on Friday too. So I think some of the chat may be.
Okay.
Yeah.
It was the Forge of something. Recovery? No, that's not right.
Let's see here. I've got. Where am I?
Anyway, she was looking for an artifact to basically help against the people.
New pockets of habitable land in the inhospitable areas outside.
Yeah. Initially, it was ways to take back from chaos, but she wasn't specifically on it. Then she found this thing, the Forge or the something of
Forge of Found Futures.
That's it.
Forge of Found Futures. All right, time to start taking notes.
Yeah.
and Nox is heavily involved with the academy, located in the Spire. Yep. And his particular goals are figuring out who are the most powerful people in the area and turning them into allies, because his long-term goal is to create a seat of power for himself.
Mm-hmm. And I think, was it Leisha or Nox who came across the reference to King Rumnar Grimdrak?
I think that was Leisha.
I believe so, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what do you recall about King Rumnar?
His peoples were basically he was the holder of the Forge of Found Futures initially, or his people were, I think, and they were driven out by chaos agents, and went to a Sylvaneth city, or
Correct.
or what? Yeah, and there the two peoples effectively became one. I mean, it's not like you have. You'll have Sylvaneth doing forge type things. You'll have what are they called?
Dwarden. Yeah.
Dwarden, tending to gardens and whatnot. So that was the last they ever heard of. So that's the last that they ever heard of the Forge of Found Futures, and it was unclear whether that went with them or not. Mm-hmm. But it sounds like.
Sorry, Robert, would you mind moving your mic just a little bit?
Sure.
Yes.
Okay.
Sorry, I heard a little bit of. I wasn't sure if there was a fan, maybe, or there was just a little bit
there
of.
There is a fan.
That's what it is. Then that's what it is.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry, because I'm not hearing it all the time. It was only when you were in certain things. You can move the mic back down. I don't think it was your breath.
Okay.
It's just a.
Okay. All right.
That's perfect. Thank you very much.
They found the that reference, and then they went to I forget her. Sorry, I had her name. Malgra
Daneson.
Malgra Daneson. Okay, so she was. Oh yeah, there she is, Malgra Daneson, and she was. We found out she was originally from there. So the idea was we were going to ask her for connections to get an airship to go into the region and see if we could find more information about the Forge of Found Futures, where it was. And she said that location, her homeland, which we didn't realize, was recently destroyed or, hit by the chaos. So, as far as I know, we're on the way, and I don't know. John can describe more about what Nox's side of this. What he discovered.
It's pretty much the same thing. Okay. He was more digging into the areas of the city and how it can help rebuild and refortify things. Otherwise, we were basically same areas when we discovered that. So,
Malgra was also able to provide this rough map of Karaznethil.
Yes. And Alicia was speculating that where we might find the Forge of Found Futures would be the Casa Lamentiri.
Yeah.
I don't know if that Lamentary.
Yeah. I'm not sure. Depending on the language you choose to favor, Lamentiri, Lamentiri.
Yeah. Because that's where the and forgive me, Kev. It was a place where newborns...
Yeah, the Sylvaneth soul pods, I believe.
Okay, Sylvaneth soul pods were. So the idea being that maybe somehow that ensures that they're free of chaos or more able to fight the chaos or something along those lines. He was just kind of spitballing at that point, but... So...
Anything else you guys recall?
We were getting ready to basically get our supplies ready for the ship voyage. Malgra had to get her stuff in order before we could go anywhere.
Yeah.
So,
and unfortunately, these characters don't know about the pattern that seems to happen in the metaverse that this game occurs in, where if you get on a ship, bad things happen. But
the ships have a bad track record. Muser Airlines is really not the place you'd want to fly.
Still better than Boeing.
Anything else we are missing? I can't think of anything. If there's anything else you guys can recall or that was important to you.
Yeah. Just as a reminder for folks who hadn't seen it, Alicia's short-term goals are effectively to appear to make the Soulcast.
Yep.
Yeah, Soulcast Eternals less. less scary, I guess, maybe the best word to the normal person.
Yep, to be like friendly with the small folk.
Yeah.
Okay. So then, I mentioned one thing we did last time. I can't remember. I think I did mention this before we went online. We used we did do the actual 10 questions stuff. So I thought it would be interesting to talk about that before we dive into the actual session, because we didn't get a chance to. We were sort of spitballing as we were going last time. So not all of these, I think, are going to necessarily be necessary, but I'm on page 30, or starting on page 36 of the core book. Mm-hmm. And we've talked about the connections between you guys. I think so. We'll start with this. I guess, Leisha, do you recall when you first left home? I know we rolled your number of times that you've been reforged, and it was if I remember correctly, quite a few times.
Yeah, was it in the? Should we just make a number because I don't recall? Or I could go back through.
Is it on your? Did you put it in your character sheet by any chance?
Oh, I might have. That's right.
Wasn't it like 7 times?
That sounds about right.
Because I know you were intent on keeping trying to. One of your long-term goals was to prepare things such that you wouldn't forget it anymore.
Yeah.
So I don't see it on the character sheet.
No, me either.
But I think it was a. It was
7
quite a few
sounds
times.
fine. I mean, if 7 seems like a relatively large number, I'm happy to make it that.
So does Leisha, do you remember when you first, when you were mortal, when you first left home? Or has that been lost to your reforging?
I would say maybe she has a... Is there a specific place where they're forged? Is it always?
They can come from all over. In the mortal realms, the humans have survived in any number of places. So it could be from a family of note in actually in the heavenly realm, or not actually Azir is the heavenly realm, where Sigmar was, and a bunch of other mortals were held up during the Age of Chaos. Or you could be, a member of a human tribe from any one of the other realms that was, uplifted.
I will say that maybe she, and it ties back into her long-term thing of when she thinks about, her long-term goal of finding things to help against the corruption, there's kind of this thing of, in her back of her mind, even though it was too late to save them, and she's not, and it seems to be from that time, she has no idea anything else, but there's this memory, the memory is that there was something that she wasn't able to save against chaos.
So she's got an emotional connection to something in her past, but she doesn't remember what it is.
Yes.
Oh, okay, interesting. So then what about Nox? Why and when did you leave home?
That's a good question. I think he'd come from a fairly large family, one of the younger children in the group, and he was just a desire to seek out on his own and make a name for himself, so he wasn't in someone's shadow. So I think he left home early-ish in his early adult life, and he just had an urge to prove himself and make a name for himself.
And that's what led to him enrolling in one of the wizards' colleges.
Yeah, it's one of the few talents he possesses, and apparently he was blessed by a particular fire god, so he leaned into that as quickly as he could.
Okay. What was if Nox remembers what was his childhood like?
Chaotic to an extent. His family wasn't well off. I mean, they weren't poor, but it was 7 mouths to feed, and then the 2 adults, and he was like 5th child in the group, and it was just typical struggle of a large family.
Okay.
I wouldn't say there's any huge traumatic things in his past.
So it's not a matter of that he like fled them. It was more a matter of like, look, they don't have the means to support everything, so I need to go and make my own way if I'm going to make something of myself.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
And then he kind of just drifted further and further from them.
Okay. Well, when's the last time he saw them?
Probably 10 years ago.
Okay. Are they still alive?
I would. He would like to think so. He would like to think so.
Okay. Nice. All right. Then Alicia.
Yep. Sorry.
That is okay. Who is your greatest ally or best friend?
I would say at the moment, amazingly enough, Nox. It's like she may have had others. Again, she has a hard time remembering some of them.
Yeah.
And to be honest, I am trying to think of anyone else I could come up with, like, outside of that. But, right now, Nox, much as she might be loath to admit it.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. And Nox, who is your greatest ally or your best friend?
As much as he would like to say Alicia, I think that he really doesn't have anyone that he really trusts that much. Just himself and maybe his prayers. Permanence is kind of an odd thing for him at this point, which is why he desires so much to have a place to call his own. I think he's working towards that between Malgra and Alicia as far as getting a core group.
Yep.
Okay. How do each of you feel about Malgra?
Good person to know. She holds her secrets. Alicia would be happy to reveal some of her secrets, so she's almost a little envious that Malgra has them to keep from other people. But she would like to know more about her, because it seems like Malgra holds a lot inside and doesn't let it out. But otherwise, she views her as very dependable, rock solid in a tough situation.
Okay.
Yep.
So, really very similar to how Nox views Malgra. She seems to be like a rock that he can orbit for now. It's a source of stability. He loves gruff personalities. It's kind of like he needs something like gritty and whatnot to push back against the fire and his quick reactions to stuff. So something to ground him.
Okay.
And Alicia, as great as she is, she's a little bit stoic and less open. Yep. So he probably teases her a bit.
Okay. Next is, what is a secret no one else knows? Alicia?
That's a good one.
So the text for it is, even those claiming to be an open book have secrets. You have something hidden away that no one else knows, or at least you hope so. It could be the true story of what happened to your missing parents, or the theft of precious realm stone from a doddering old wizard, or the secrets of what you had to do to survive in the wild. Whatever it is, you'd rather it stay buried and forgotten.
Let's go back to that bit where I was saying that it had something to do too late to save them. She also knows that in some way she was responsible for the chaos finding them. Okay. Yep.
But it's not certain what the particulars were?
No, because that's all kind of back in the past. But she doesn't feel like it was necessarily an accident, but that she. I don't know how to put this. She doesn't feel like it was on purpose, obviously, but maybe she was. She feels a little bit of shame, as in somehow she was tricked, or somehow she was manipulated.
Well, and I guess a difficult thing with that too is if you don't remember it, then Lord knows if whoever caused that or whoever tricked you, they may still be out there.
Yep.
Okay. What about Nox? It's a secret that no one else knows.
I'm of two minds of this thing. One, the just straight up clear-cut answer is he's responsible for killing someone unjustified before. The reason being is he can hear whispers of chaos just at the back of his mind that might have twisted his perception into doing it, but he is responsible for somebody dying untimely, like directly responsible.
So was it a momentary impulse thing, or was it premeditated?
In reality, it was probably impulsive, but over the years, he's warped his perception of it as like he is responsible for it.
So
he should have known better.
There's 5 ruinous powers in here. Of the 5 ruinous powers, the one that probably fits with most is Khorne. Khorne is the god of murder, basically. The chant of his cult is blood for the blood god, skulls for the skull throne. Does he remember who it was? Was it someone he knew, or was it a random individual?
He doesn't know, but the face still haunts him.
Okay.
It was, I think it was something to do with a temptation of power, maybe a sacrifice, and then it just spiraled from there.
He sacrificed the person?
Well, not. It was like a temptation of like if you give sacrifices to the chaos, your power will grow. And I don't think he was able to go through with it.
In your case, char for the charred throne, I guess.
Exactly. So
all right.
It was more of like it almost went that far, but.
Okay. The next question is, what is your worst fear? Fear is a constant in the mortal realms. Fear of starvation, fear of death and undeath, or fear of what lies beyond the walls of the city. There is something you are afraid of, something that creeps into your thoughts in that moment just before you lay your head down to rest, something that makes your skin crawl and leaves a sick feeling in your gut. Maybe you have a fear of creeping insects, or you fear the ocean itself and the horror that lies beneath. Or maybe it's not death you fear, but the rebirth you must be forced to endure in the God King's name. What is your worst fear? Alicia?
I don't know why had a couple of things kind of pop in the head. I like the idea of the ocean, just because in general I love the ocean, but the idea of her, and maybe that's also connected. Maybe it was. I don't want everything to be connected to this one thing, though. So,
were one of her deaths perhaps relating to drowning?
Possible, yeah.
Because there's a whole. Yeah. There's I think Eldeneth. Let's see here. What is the? Idoneth. The Idoneth Deepkin are elves who inhabit like realms under the waves. Okay. You may very well have been visiting or some allied mission with some of their kind, and I can't remember what it's called. Not to dragon scale cloak, but it's there's a magic item that they make use of that basically makes it so you can breathe underwater. Perhaps it failed or was destroyed or something, and
or was removed.
Could have been betrayed.
Yeah.
Okay, so you fear. What about Nox?
It's a very specific fear. It's claustrophobia, but to a specific degree.
Yeah.
He fears the being buried alive or pinned by enough earth that you can't move, and you slowly suffocate into just squeezing death. That's what he fears the most.
So how does he feel about the prospect of going into a dwarven hold then?
That's. He's very cognizant of the sheer amount of earth above his head.
Yeah. Okay. What do you desire most? Our desires can drive us to do great and terrible things. The A desire for companionship to see the birth of a family. A desire for safety can see a city grow from nothing. A desire for order and control can reshape the realms themselves. What is your character's desires? Do they long for gold, for precious realm stone, or for the lost secrets of the age of myth? If your character could have anything at all, what would it be?
Lalisha would... So it's interesting. Her, if anybody ever asks her, she always says that she wants to remember things that happened.
Mm-hmm.
At the same time, I'm not sure if that's really what she wants, given some of the other things. But it is related to her long-term goal of wanting to push back the chaos. So she wants something. She doesn't necessarily want to be responsible for it, but she won't say she is, but she would love to find a way to remove all chaos from the world, but as much as possible.
Okay.
That is so in line with Nox's as well.
Yeah.
Nox does his long-term goal, seat of power, making a name for himself, but his greatest desire is power. The power of enough flame to directly burn chaos from the face of the land. And with that comes corruption. I mean, he may take a shortcut to get it. Who knows at this point?
So if he wants to... What is the shortcut he's thinking of, if not chaos, then?
That's the thing. Should he become chaos to make it safe for everyone? Who knows? It's
okay. Nice.
Young and incorrigible.
Yeah.
He will be a benevolent, chaotic overlord.
Yeah, we think that, don't we?
Yes.
All right. So then the final question is, why are you doing this? It takes a very particular type of person to venture out into the mortal realms and confront the forces of chaos, death, and destruction. This is one of the most important questions you will answer. It is what makes your character different to those that happily accept their lot in life. It is, in essence, what makes you a player character and not a non-player character. What is it that's driven you to this life? Are you on a holy crusade chosen by the God King himself? Are you fleeing from something worse, making this life seem safe by comparison? Are you doing this out of necessity for something you or your people need to survive? Was this a life you chose, or was it thrust upon you? If you are soulbound, why did you choose to entwine your souls with others in service to the gods? Did you make a pact for riches, or your greatest desire, or for more altruistic reasons?
Alicia's reason is to make up for what she perceives as her failure. And again, it's kind of buried deep, and she, would barely admit it to herself. She'll tell anyone else that it's because Sigmar has called her, and maybe there's some of that, but it's really to make up for her past failure, what she perceives as a failure.
Yep. It's amazing how closely these two characters are aligned in there.
Yep.
Nox's reasons for doing this are multiple. It's guilt for what he's done, the dire desire to make it right, the burning urge to make sure nobody else suffers the same way he did in those moments. He wants to make the world a better place, but it is guilt and anger and fear that are driving him.
Okay. Then that satisfies our questions, guys, for us. So let's return back to Bright Spear. Is there anything else that your soulbound heroes wish to do before you depart? Anything you need to pick up? Anything you need to...
I think we briefly mentioned picking up supplies for poisons and diseases we might come across.
Oh, yes.
That would be a...
I mean, the Aqua Garanis can be used for that. If you use, I think it's 10 of them, you can get rid of a condition, so that's effectively treating poisons or whatnot. But let's see if there is any other specific...
Maybe equipment like face masks so you don't breathe in the polluted air, or who knows.
Is there any water along the path? If so, then she might not say directly, but well, you know what? We could always say that she always has a, if it wouldn't be too expensive or whatnot, basically a mouth, a way to breathe underwater.
Oh, so that let's see here. So that is a, let's see here. Ether Sea Cloak, I think, is what you're looking for.
Okay.
Allows land-dwelling creatures to breathe and move underwater as if they were on land, and sea creatures to swim through the air as if underwater. So the Ether Sea Cloak,
if she has that kind of money, it sounds like
it is something you would need to gain from. It's actually not available for sale. Created by the Isharon Tidecasters, but that's maybe something you could work towards.
Yeah, but of course that would require her getting near water, so she might.
That is very true.
Yeah, avoid that.
So I was just thinking if there was something a little more common or whatnot available, but if there isn't, then
not
she
really.
would probably.
Yeah.
If she finds herself near the ocean, she'll probably, or required to, then that'll be one of her first stops. But
so there would be there's different ways of accessing venturing to the different mortal realms. In this case, because the Bright Sphere has such a unique realm gate, you're not having to necessarily, travel across oceans. In theory, you could. There may be a way to sail out across the oceans of Akshi and find some way to transport yourself to the oceans of Shaman. But that's not likely the path that you are to take.
No. Yeah, if she's going nowhere near, that's kind of like if we go, in a direction that might take us where we'll have to deal with the ocean, she will definitely look that up. But
well, not for nothing. There is one of the locations in that new source book that came out, Ruins of the Age or something like that. I can't remember. Let's see here. It's called Ruins of the Past. Okay. One of the settings, one of the places that's in there is actually a fallen Idoneth city. So like an entire underwater city that's a ruin to be explored. So I can see where that may come into Alicia's future at some point.
Okay. But as of this moment, she doesn't need it, so she's not going to.
Okay.
But it's certainly in the back of her mind. It's like anytime we go anywhere near the ocean, this is something she's heard about and will probably go above and beyond to get before she does.
So it's worth a reminder of what what to expect from Karaznethil as well, because where's it here? Karaznethil is surrounded by vast ironbark forests, which grow on a vast floating island in the spiral crux, where quicksilver rivers dribble off the edges in eternal waterfalls before drifting back up into mercurial bubbles. Passage to Karaznethil's island was always restricted to those who could fly or traverse the realm routes, whether they used gyrocopters, aetheredrons, sprite-given wings, or relied on the magic of noble spirits. But that was before the Maggot-kin invasion. What you are going to be doing is, Hiron, there are still Karadron air lords who will be supplying them. It's just a reminder, this is what the Karadron airship looks like. Because it is Warden King Adagrim is still apparently active in a resistance there. So, but what that requires is air insertion into a floating island in Shaman, and here is, incidentally, guys, what to expect from Shaman.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Shame on the realm of metal where transience is the only certainty, a realm ever in flux, not simply expanding as Akshi does, but swelling and shrinking with unseen cosmic tides. Unlike the other realm spheres, Shaman's many lands do not exist as anything resembling a central plane or disk. They are a series of wildly varied subrealms which drift within Shaman's firmament, linked by portals and undiscovered mystical bonds. Shaman's domains are imminently mutable, changing fleetingly, melding, and breaking apart in a slow dance that has forced its inhabitants to continuously adapt. The lands that float closest to the verdant core, including the Great Spiral Crux, have pure water and edible greenery. But the further away from the center, the less habitable the realm becomes. Trees develop glinting, brassy, or silvery bark, and water becomes acidic. Liquid gold rains down from gleaming clouds. Clouds. And air becomes heavy with iron particles. Even wildlife changes. Shimmering flocks of metallic songbirds carve iridescent trails across the sky as rust-furred predator constructs stalk iron-limbed herd beasts through copper grasses. So, that is where you'll be heading. Is there anything else you guys wish to... Oh, go ahead. You say something, Robert?
No, nothing for me.
Okay.
I was like, where we were heading. I was like, yeah, it sounds perfectly, It's going to be...
perfectly habitable. All right. Oh, you might be muted, John.
Yeah.
So we're toasting Mo.
So I was thinking, based on if we're going to be infiltrating or climbing stuff, probably want to get a grappling hook and some ropes, just in case.
Okay.
I think I'll spend my 40 drops to get the grappling hook and 2 sets of 50-foot ropes.
Okay.
Lalisha would be happy to split that, so...
Okay.
Yep.
So 20 each then.
Yep.
Okay. All right.
Just because, I have no athletic skill. Just the one body.
Yep. Now, where are the... Oh, they're there. Got it. Okay.
Yeah,
So
right
she's down to 45. Yep.
And with Malgra in the binding as well, that'll give you 2 soul fire, Nox.
Okay.
So that'll be under the Soulbound sheet, which I think you have access to.
I do, yeah.
Okay. Great. Then, anything else you guys wish to do before departing Brightspear?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, I'm going to pull up that new... Where are we here? A new book, because there is a neat... Go... All right, so this will be a group test. So let me just refresh my memory of how group tests work, as opposed to extended tests. Opposed tests, common tests. Right, yeah. Oop. Let me see if it's in the group test. Here we go. 297. Thank you, game. All right, group tests. Similar to extended tests, group tests require many more successes than a typical complex test. Group tests can utilize a single skill or multiple skills. Single tests can be used when the whole party is taking the same action, such as stealth, to try and sneak up on a group. A variety of skills can be used where different party members are taking different actions. For instance, if the party were aboard a plummeting airship. Well, that's a very handy surprise, guys. Oh, my goodness. Spoilers book, come on. So then for this one, it is a group test, and it says survival or mind lore. Survival or lore. So mind, survival, mind, lore.
Okay. I'm skilled in lore.
You can each pick one and go ahead and roll it.
I'll go for the lore.
So Kev, just for reference, this is we're doing this because of something happening in the...
As part of the journey, we're going to use this to interpret sort of what the... whether there are any complications along the way.
It. Okay, so this isn't in response to a complication, it's determining if there are any. Okay,
correct, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it the typical DN of 2?
Is a DN of 4?
Okay.
She is equally unskilled in both survival and lore, so... let's see. She seems these days to be more of a researcher. And what's the target number?
Target number is 4.
4. Sure. So she's
0
going to use her
successes.
lore.
Okay.
All
right. So, the trip, the departure from Akshi is hot, and it is very, very dry. How do Nox and Leisha feel about traveling in this Karadran ship? This is one of the more common ways to safely traverse the land, at least from the air. So I imagine it's probably not the first time, but if you feel it's the first time your characters have traveled this way, that's fine too.
Yeah.
No, she's traveled this way a few times and enjoys it. She spends as much time as she can, particularly when they're above the clouds, to kind of, I don't know, almost, bask in the sun and like kind of look forward to where they're going, type of thing. It's almost like her communing with Sigmar a bit.
Yeah, and it would be not actually the sunlight necessarily. It would actually be the light of Azir probably. Because when you are in one of the mortal realms, it is the other spheres that are moving.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
For Nox, this is probably the closest he's come to like absolute freedom and not being tied to the ground and all the chaos down there. So he's just loving it, just enjoying the breeze. I imagine it's a little bit colder up there, and he's just the briskness of it, and maybe a little bit queasy.
Yeah, that's understandable.
Maybe just a little bit.
Okay. So let's see here. I'm going to use. Yeah, here we go.
Maybe it's like an old friend of mine who, on every single research trip we ever took out on a ship, it's like he always, at some point, he fed the fishes, and then after that, he was perfectly fine.
Yeah.
Let's see. Okay. Sorry, I'm just trying to find
I think you need to get up. Oh, here, hold on, cat.
You getting clawed?
No, he's actually really good about that. He was just starting to like slide off, and it's like, all right, we're going to deal with that one way or another. I'd rather deal with it on my terms.
Would you each give us a D6 roll, please?
D6.
6.
Okay. So it is not long before, well, I mean, it's several days, I imagine, of relatively uneventful travel along here when you can feel, Nox, that you make the transition into Shaman, because you no longer have that, you've got that realm connection to Akshi, right? And because you are a Akshian bright wizard. When you go in, there's also, in addition to the feeling of a different magical connection, Nox, you can feel you're in a different, realm. There's also like subtle things in it. There is a subtle change, almost like a hint of oily tinge to the air. There is a taste of almost a copperiness. Leisha, you may recognize it as not quite the same, but it's the smell of blood that hangs in the air. And at times when you pass by a storm, there's almost a feeling of, or a scent of ozone that very strongly holds in the air. You are passing one of those larger chunks as you're making your way towards the spiral crux, because this brings you in one of the more somewhere that's further away, one of the more chaotic types of things. And what you come across, the ship drifts through, is imagine a combination of jellyfish and fungal growth. And that is the field that you drift at. You picture passing through a cloud, and as you come out, you find yourself drifting along through this coppery tinged field or swarm of fungal fish. It is evening when you do this, so which is maybe why they did not notice it. The Dwarden on board seem a little concerned about this, but as you're passing through, what you find is almost like a blacksmith's anvil hitting a forge. As you pass by each of them, there's a ringing sound, and then sparks kind of fly off from it and drift down like spores of a wholly unique kind. Drifting through this place, it's almost akin to fireworks that you may see on some of the nights in Akshi, where some of the wizards or some of the alchemists will light the night sky to celebrate. And similarly in here, what the sparks themselves, some are the color of flame, bright orange, but there are others that share a silvery shimmering finish, or almost a golden light as if coming from Aegir itself. All have a metallic or fiery quality to them, but it leads to you guys passing through what seems to be a brilliant field of floating metallic jellyfish and light. That is the most eventful thing that occurs before you begin drifting towards the actual Sentry Woods that lay outside of Karaznethil. When you are getting when the captain and the others on board the Dwarden tell you that you're about a day or so off from this, the total travel time is probably about 2 weeks. Is there anything you guys wish to do in that time? You're spending a little more than a week in Shaman itself. Or is it just taking in the sights?
After, the initial, first day or so of just enjoying being freedom and whatnot in the air above, he probably takes his time using his witch sight to see how the energy that permeates the realms changes as they travel.
Yeah. Just
to study it a little bit better and familiarize himself with, how the magic works in different places.
Yeah. So, Shaman is gold, I believe. So there is the gold power and gold warping. It is where you are incredibly powerful. And it's an odd combination of, what it is? It's almost like destabilized quicksilver, where it wants to pool together, and there is a sense of wholeness and completion when it's there, but then it very quickly is spread apart and strung out almost like spools of copper wire being spun at a Dwarden forge, or metalworking station. It's very different from the more primordially chaotic, and I mean chaotic in the vernacular sense, not in the ruinous power sense of Akshi, where it is destructive and tempestuous and almost a living thing. This has chaos to it, where it's constantly forming and whatnot, but there is an inherent stability that also runs through that. A sense of being both immutable and mutable at the same time. So it's a really compelling thing to be immersed in if you have not spent a lot of time in Shaman, I imagine.
Yeah. So I imagine, as a player, that people who cast spells actually tap into this spectrum of energy and twist it to their will.
Yep.
So him studying it and just
Forging,
his
you
way
might
of
say.
forging it. So he basically imagines how to draw the power in different areas so that it's not as foreign if he's doing it on the fly.
Yeah.
So he's just practicing as he goes.
Yeah, the gold wizards, I believe, I want to say alchemists, but I can't remember what the specialists are called in this game. But yeah, it is the gold wind that you would call on for working metal magics. What about you, Alicia? What's going through your mind as you're drawing closer to this haven of chaos?
Sorry, I thought I was muted. Maybe she talks a little bit with Nox about, she sees him doing this, and because she can't see it the same way as him, she's curious and kind of asks about it. But it's
he'll tell you that even if you can't see it, if you've got the ability, you could feel it.
Okay, yeah. And she's maybe just a touch envious, but not overly. I mean, she's kind of basically she's trying to distract herself a little bit from the hope she has. Like she's letting her, she in her mind she has no idea how powerful this item is, so maybe she's inflating it a bit. And she realizes that she's being unrealistic, that this thing is probably not going to help her recover all of, all of the land for Sigmar. So she's trying to find ways to keep herself busy so she doesn't spend too much time hoping, I guess. And so, she talks to Nox, she talks to maybe some of the Dwarden about if they've heard of anything, like if they've heard about Karaznethil and things that they could perhaps tell her, but
why don't let's see here, why don't you give us a an intuition check, please?
Sure.
Does intuition use soul or mind by default?
It uses mind. Mind by default, yeah.
I think you can use soul with it if you're doing it to try. There isn't really like a diplomacy skill in the game, per se. So I think intuition can be used to judge. It's like the social perception kind of skill, but I think that if you're using it to interact, soul might be a more appropriate one.
Okay, sure. And what's the target number?
Target number will be 4.
4, okay.
There you go. So, what are you asking the Karazdren about, or the Karazdren?
Yeah, well, she's mostly wanting to know if they know anything further about how it fell, than what perhaps Mulgra might have access to. Mulgra, I'm trying to remember exactly what she told us. She said she didn't know the details. Is that correct? She just knew that it fell?
Because her mother was originally from... Her father was a Karazdren overlord. Her mother was a Dwarden from Karaznethil, which is why she knows that song that she and Nox, I think, sing?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah. And... so she knows sort of secondhand what's happened, but she hasn't really seen it, and certainly hasn't seen it since it fell.
Yeah. So she's basically trying to get a little more information on maybe how it fell and if there were any survivors. And how it fell, if there were any survivors, and if any of them know where those survivors might have gone to.
So
I know that's through kind of things, but
yeah, I think it's, and unfortunately, so with what you've got, you've probably got, and perhaps unsurprisingly, just like sailors in our world too, there's a degree of superstition among the Karazdren overlords. I mean, they they have abandoned their gods. One of the things that the Dwarven did in many parts, at least the Caradron overlords did during the Age of Chaos, is because the gods weren't going to help them, they were like, well then fuck you, we don't need you. If there's anything as more Dwarven than being like, well fuck you, God, I don't need you. But there is a degree of superstition, because superstition is also not, that may just be recognizing the reality of the metaphysics of the world. They don't want to draw the ire or the attention of the maggotkin by discussing things. Hi, buddy. Maybe we can take our mid-session break.
Probably.
No. Yeah. Robert, why don't we take our mid-session break right now?
Okay.
We're at our mid-session break anyway.
He wanted. Sorry about that, but he wanted to know something about for 1 o'clock.
No, that's no problem at all.
Okay,
Not at all.
okay.
So why don't we take our mid-session break now? We'll be back in about 5 minutes, and then we'll talk about what you learned.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, no problem. So for those listening at home, we'll be back in about 5 minutes.
Yeah, my son is good at defusing any, it's like, if he interrupts me, it's like, he's going to do it with a kiss so that I don't get upset.
Well, whatever works, right?
Yeah, whatever works. He's a good kid. I've even done some role playing with him recently. So
Nice.
yeah. Actually, one more thing.
So looking at some of the spells Nox has, and Inferno Blades is pretty cool.
Yeah, what's it do? So,
It affects
blades of fire.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I can buff my party's members' weapons with fire, and when you hit somebody, it lights them on fire, and they take damage every round.
Nice. It's funny. I'm reading kind of simultaneously. I'm reading the like I said, kind of the starter sets, learn as you go thing. But I'm also reading the Fantasy Flight's five rings setting. Rules, and there's a little bit of it. Some of the overlap and like the kind of the way they do things, not precisely, but also like the spells and whatnot, seem like I have a hard time remembering which one, because there's more overlap than you would expect. Between the
those Fantasy Flight Five Rings rules are fucking great too. We ran a nearly year-long, almost a year-long campaign with those. It was really, really good.
Yeah. So.
Okay. So you were speaking to the other crew members or of the airship, and the what I think we were talking about how they were superstitious in the way that Earth, sailors can be sometimes, and so they're reluctant with one success. They're not going to be incredibly forthcoming with you, but they will be certainly telling you at least some things. One of the, I think, crew members asks, because you're also twice the height of these Dwarven as well, because you're massive Stormcast Eternal. Perhaps this is on a conversation that is happening on the deck, and what this here, we'll give him a name too. There is go. There we go. Dwarven names. Durek. It's just a crew member's name. And perhaps this is one of the ranking officers on the crew as well. It's evening in as you guys are talking on the crew. He's out supervising the watch, and when you come on deck, he says, "Good evening, lady. Taking the air."
Yeah. I do tend to enjoy it when I'm outside of the city, closer to, maybe not closer to anything, further away from the details of the world below. And when she comes up to talk to somebody, like before she, when she was doing that, she's left her mask behind in her quarters.
Sure.
So
okay.
Yep.
So he says, "Well, it's there are some who find the heights that we travel to be disquieting. You've been out here quite often."
As much as I possibly can, and if she finds a place to sit near him, because of course she probably towers well over him.
Yeah.
She goes ahead and takes a seat. So that at least they're a little closer in height. She tries to do it so that's not obvious, but she says, "Yes, definitely. Do not mind being high up, but I actually wanted to talk about something more, closer to the ground that we're heading towards, and I know that, do they call themselves sailors or?
They overlords.
Overlords, yeah, they call themselves the overlords in general.
Yeah.
So that's like a term that you would use instead of sailors.
I think the air sailor would probably be.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
An appropriate term. For those listening at home, I'm not sure canonically what the thing is, but for today's purposes, yes, that works.
Yeah. So, while most of the time, of course, you're up here, I found that air sailors know a fair bit about what's going on in the areas that they frequent.
Sky sailors, maybe.
Sky sailors, yeah. And I was curious if you'd heard anything about Karaznethil.
Karaznethil?
Yeah, Karaznethil. Particularly, we've heard that it's fallen, and we were curious.
His face gets quite serious.
Yeah.
you would know just from dealing with Malgra and other, Dwarden, the losses that, every species experienced loss during the Age of Chaos, but the Dwarden seem to dwell on it or think of it. There are so many strongholds and bastions that they held before during the Age of Myth, and those were so easily turned over to, strongholds for chaos afterwards, that it's not only is it a matter of, it's like having to watch someone else turn your own home over, where other species, the chaos may just raise their, achievements to the ground. The defenses that Dwarden built into many of their strongholds can so easily be turned over to be now a way of keeping order and the light of Sigmar from reaching these places. So it's a particularly sore point for the Dwarden, because many of the most pernicious infections of chaos happen to be located in the strongholds of the Dwarden. And as such, even when any of these Karaks or Karazes fall, they're felt keenly by many of the Dwarden. And so he says, we're most familiar with it, yes. Before its fall, it was not a place that was unfamiliar to us. Strange. We made regular calls at the Iron Glade, and the Dwarden and Sylvaneth who dwelt there. But now, it is not the same at all. I hear that your God King has deemed a new age upon us, that this what's befallen Karaznethil is a reminder of the terrible age that passed.
Yes, even though Sigmar is... Did she believe, do the Stormcast kind of view him as all powerful, or just the most powerful?
You've met Sigmar. Gods in this setting are not like the the monotheistic faiths of our world, where there's like an abstract concept kind of that people. There is you have physically been before Sigmar. Okay. Sigmar is a powerful. The gods are capable of things that mortals are simply not capable of, and the gods also persist in a way that mortal souls simply do not. Sigmar and the other gods literally survived the destruction of the world, in a previous age, and they do not age, they do not end, but they have a limitation or a mortal framework to them in a way that probably is closer to the way the Greeks viewed their gods than at least the what do you call it? The ones who believed in gods. Aristophanes, I think, wrote The Clouds, and The Clouds is a very clearly atheistic work. But you would believe the way that religious Greeks might. Does that answer your question?
Yes. Okay. Or perhaps like the Vikings did with their Olympus and whatnot. Yeah, and so she's and she says, Sigmar, in spite of being a god, and obviously extremely powerful, it pains him. That he is unable to prevent such things, and his agents like myself, we're doing our best, but of course chaos still exists, and it's up to us to try to push it back. And that's our goal, is to find out what happened there. And we have hope that there is something inside that would allow us to take the fight to chaos itself.
And I wish you luck.
And yep, and he says, but do you do you know of anyone who was there who escaped within Shaman?
There is no other haven to which they could run. Some are refugees and have found place among our kind, but they are very different than the Caradron. The folk of Karaznethil are truly a unique blend. I've heard that in the Sentry Woods surrounding it, there are those who still survive, still follow Warden King Adagrim, and those who still fight, but it is... Oh, sorry, Robert, is there a wind or another fan?
I'm sorry, I thought the fan was far enough away. Okay, got it.
Okay, sorry, it's blown quite badly. The there are, I know not who may have survived. I was in Bright Spear last, and it's a parched land there, different from our homes in Shaman. And I came across what must have been someone's pet, a carcass in the street. The markings on it showed it was cared for. It seemed to be special to someone at some time. But when I came across it, it was rotten and bloated, and Axian flies swarmed around it. That is what you will find at Karaznethil.
I see.
I wish you success in your task, lady. But it is not a small one.
And she says, well, if it was a small one, let's see, I don't know how she would want to put that. If it was a small one, then... And she just pauses, and she's like, and she hopes he can sort of understand the meaning behind it. Which,
yeah.
Yeah.
He says, we appreciate it. We'll take my... We Dwarden have been accused of pragmatism to a fault. We hope we keep it secret. An ember is best kept hidden from the winds, lest it be extinguished. And he smiles at you.
Yep, and then she adds, agreed, and also that it does not become too unrealistic as well.
Hope, I suppose, is all we have in this age. If it is to indeed be a new one for all the free peoples. Anything else you guys wish to do on the... Or anything else you wish to talk to this guy about? Alicia?
No, I think that's good.
Okay. Then is there anything else you guys wish to do before we roll our next encounter? Oh, you're muted again, John. Let's toast Mo. To Mo!
Yeah. Mo. I think I'm pretty good on what Nox is doing, so...
Okay. Then would you each kindly give us a D6 roll?
Another 6. Double sixes.
So, Lisa, you just had a scene. So perhaps it is Nox. You're, from what they say, you're maybe a day or so off from reaching where you where your final destination is, and you said that you were making use of some of your time to, to view the what do you call it? To view the winds using your
Which site?
So I think you're perhaps on the bridge or on the deck of the Overseer's ship. And looking, would you give us a... Let's see here. Oh, and if you could change your intuition skill, Alicia, back to using mind once again. Just so we don't forget. Would you give us... an awareness check, please, Nox.
Alrighty, can do.
Difficulty would be, let's say, 5. Nice. So, Nox, you are looking out, and there is what's going through your mind as you're seeing these swirling eddies and strange wires and poolings of the gold wind around you.
Well, I think he's grown used to how they look as they travel, because I assume this airship is causing a lot of the turbulence in the energy as well, because it's using some of it.
Yeah.
He's looking out for any strangeness that would be happening that he didn't notice before, and just trying to get a sense of what they're getting into. But as far as what's going through his mind in the moments when he's not like eagle-eyed around, he's just caught in the beauty of the movements, and it's something that almost makes sense to him on a fundamental level.
Okay.
Although he resonates with only certain aspects of it due to his flame affinity.
Okay. So
it's like watching a campfire.
Sure. So you are kind of watching, then idly thinking, and then there is far off in the coppery sky, there is a fleck of something different that you see, and your eyes focus, and it's with, perhaps you ask a Dewarden nearby, like, might I have your lens, your spying lens, and you get it up, you look through, and what you can see very far off, drifting along, seemingly insensate as well, almost as if the rig was bearing him. Where the heck is it? Do I have a handout for it? Trying to see if I loaded something I thought I might have. I did not. Let me check something here. Not a big deal if we don't outpost. I did. Fantastic. Guys. Held aloft by a skyrigger apparatus. His arms hanging limp at his side. Very far off, it looks like there is a Karadran overseer who is drifting. Overseer? Overlord? I think I screw that up every time. Overlord, who seems to be drifting along, almost as if like a moat carried on by the breeze.
He's limp in his that's unusual.
There's his gun is hanging from some apparatus like down below, like some small pendulum when you get the spyglass focused in.
Yeah, Nox will he'll like straighten up his back and then hand the spyglass back and says, "There's an overlord in distress. Perhaps we should divert."
The dwarven you hand it back to, he's like, "What?" and takes a look, and then as soon as he spies it, he cries out, "Man overboard!" And there's calls of other dwarven around saying, "Man overboard! Man overboard!" And you can feel the whole thing lurch
and grab something
as it moves in the direction of the man, and the ship begins steaming directly towards. You can hear the engine powering up. It's just going towards it. As you are looking, you got 2 successes on that. You are also able to spy that looks like they're, at first you think them just flex, then you ask for the spyglass back again. You look once again, and you can see not far behind there are 3 other flecks. And this, I am fairly certain I have loaded. Let me go to GM Slayer. There we go. Let me show you what is... Oh, I didn't... So I was going to show you.
3 fang dragons.
Yeah, exactly.
That was the time.
Yeah.
So this is not... It's not the full force here, but what... You see this thing right here? That giant fly-like creature? 3 of them are in pursuit of this unconscious Karazdrethil overlord.
So Nox will just slowly hand the spyglass back, and fire starts to leak from his eyes as he's gathering fire energy around it.
Yep.
He's being chased by enemy bug-like creatures.
Alicia, by the way, wasn't necessarily there, but
he's shouting at this point.
Yeah, but as soon as the ship starts to turn, she comes over to see what's going on, and
that's when you maybe hear Nox call out, and you can see fire beginning to form around his hand. What do you guys do?
Nox is like to the straight point of the ship, so we can get as closest to this as possible.
So I think this will do just fine for our.
I assume they are not in our zone.
No, they are not. They would be probably extreme range. So let's refresh our memories.
Okay.
By ours, I mean mine, of how range is measured.
Yeah, so light of Sigmar would not be useful at this stage.
So here we go, range. Extreme range is anything outside of long range, and it is 3 or more zones away from your current zone. What we'll assume is that there is going to be more... let me just get this token set up before I forget. Our Doom is currently 1, which will affect the Rot Fly's toughness. Okay. There we go. Somebody set up their token properly. We'll assume that there are smaller swarms around them as well that will be keeping the ship occupied, but you are really the only ones capable of dealing with these things. These things are... Well, go ahead, John. Sorry.
Oh, yeah, I figured that if anything, we'd be trying to defend the Overlord from getting taken. So
the only the only issue that Lalisha has is she has nothing outside of, like, she's got the long sword and she's got, yeah. So basically, she's going to need to get close.
I think what you can assume is that when, as soon as you're able to get close, now the airship itself is equipped with cannons, so they will be beginning to open fire. I guess they can't because that Dwarden is in the way. So you're really you're not going to be able to engage until they would be at long range, I think.
Okay.
So let me just set these up. Maybe I'll make this a little smaller, and
I've got medium range for my my spells. So
okay.
Yep.
Most of them.
Yeah, I've got nothing basically until it's in her zone.
So as long as you don't mind me hiding behind you, as soon as they get real close, I'm gonna.
Yep. Actually, I have one thing. I do have one thing. Okay.
Okay. So then let's see here. There is. Would you guys mind clicking on initiative? Initiative is a set score in this game. We don't roll it.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you need to click on your token or not. I can't remember.
Nope, just the word.
Nope.
Excellent. Got a turn for them. All right. So, and then maybe we'll put the overlords. Where's my bestiary? Here we go. So we have stats for them as well. So I'm not using the NPCs or whatnot in it, but the game is nicely, streamlined. So it's actually pretty easy to play sessions where you have troops or whatnot, or henchmen or hirelings. We did that in our Ulfenkarn adventure we played, and it still played really, really smoothly. All right, so. A warrior. So these Dwarven warriors will have their range attack would be 3d6 doing 1 damage plus 1 per success. But they only have 5 toughness. So if they take 5 damage, those are warriors, not minions. I think minions only have 1. Yeah, 1 armor, 1 toughness. So each time the Dwarden take 1 damage, they are dead. So, first up, and I want to put them at 1. So let's start is there anything you wish to do before they reach the zone? Because you guys can picture on the deck of this thing, it's, going directly towards them. They seem to be about 2 zones behind him, which means they are long range from him right now, from whoever this unconscious Dwarden is. Nox and Leisha, what do you guys wish to do?
Leisha calls out, it's like, is there a bow I can use? Although it might look like a toy in her hand.
I think one of the Dwarden will just say, "Bow lady, take a gun," and they hand over a rifle to you.
Sure. Basically, whatever they were having is probably what she would have called out, but she probably is too excited and says bow.
They'll let you borrow that, so that'll be, let's see here, it'll use your ballistic skill, and it does, I think, 1, rifle, 2. 2 damage. It has also is long range. 2 damage plus the number of successes. So
2 damage.
And Nox, he'll reach out for the ethereal energy and attempt to cast etheric armor on himself.
Nice. Okay.
So let's see how many successes I get. 5.
Nice.
So it lasts 5 rounds.
5 rounds. Okay.
And so I'll go ahead and put a little dot on him. So it's gonna.
Oh, remember you got the other, or you can increase your armor. +1 armor per 2 additional successes.
Okay, let's go 3 armor for. No, 2 armor for 3 rounds.
4 rounds total. Right, because it would be You got 5 successes.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Oh, but it'll be additional successes. Forgive me. You're right. You're right.
So we'll go 3 rounds of +2 armor.
Okay. What does your etheric armor look like?
So he reaches out with his mind and solidifies his will and the energy, and his hand just reaches out, and it feels like he plucks an invisible string, and then fire just starts to melt from his out of his skin and part into like this sheen of almost clear energy crystal.
Malgra, I think,
like
will be
breastplate.
Love it. Malgra will be will have her own Skyrigger rig on, and we'll kind of leap off the deck, and she's going to go be dealing with trying to save that Dwarden. Okay. Then let's we'll start with let's do a quick talk about what your medal comes in. Because remember, each round you gain 1 medal back, and your medal can be spent to take extra actions, to buff your training or your focus. So that is what you can use your medal for, guys.
Okay.
Oh yeah, and focus, does that let me count as extra successes, or
what focus allows you to do is, remember, you can add those numbers to what you rolled.
Oh yeah, to the numbers. Got it.
Yeah, so like you could turn that 1 into a 3, but that's unfortunately not quite good enough to get it. But you could spend those to adjust the dice that you've rolled.
Okay.
All right. So Nox, you've got that breastplate on. Let's start at the. Why don't we here? We'll start in the top of the round. So they're at long range right now. That was your first action, Nox. Do you wish to do anything else? You got 1 medal.
Yes. Yeah, he will spend his 1 medal and attempt to tweak the strands of ether again, and this time he's going to target Malgra.
Yeah.
And he's going to attempt to send a mystic shield her way. So if she gets in the thick of it, it'll boost her defense.
Love it. So any spell that says an ally, you can also target yourself.
Okay.
Just as a thing, I looked at. It's in the errata. It's not expressly said in the rulebook, but the FAQ says that.
Okay, 1 success.
But what about your focus, though? Can you?
I can boost. I can
2
get another
successes.
success if I get it.
Nice.
So that'll give her +1 armor for 2 rounds.
And what does the armor on her look like?
It's very similar. Basically, his all of his armor spells look like a crystalline, like the fire was made crystalline.
Yeah.
And it creates like a little shield, a dual shield that like rotates around her, as though sensing incoming attacks.
And so your green bar is your medal, by the way. So if you want to spend that, and then you'll get it back at the start of your turn.
1.
All right. Then Alicia, what are you doing?
She doesn't have much at this range. Sorry, the rifle she just got.
Yeah, the rifle you could use. Yeah.
So, she's a little bit awkward with it. She's never. First of all, it's probably kind of small.
What is your accuracy? Is it poor?
Her accuracy is. You mean ballistic skill?
No, I mean the accuracy. Remember the way that you determine difficulty in combat is
0. Yeah.
No, it will be 0. It'll be listed as poor or good, poor or average or good or great.
Yeah, mine was blank.
Sorry.
I had to click on
accuracy is actually poor.
Poor. Yep. Okay. So then what that tells us is the Rotfly's defense is great, which means it is 1, 2, 3 above you. So that is a difficulty of 6 that you're rolling against for your bullet. Now you make your ballistic skill. Did you set up a weapon thing for?
I did.
Fantastic.
Yep.
Look at that.
Yep. Okay.
So go ahead and take your shot. And now, as a reminder, I don't think you've got training in it. You don't have training or focus in ballistic, do you?
No, I've got nothing.
Metal does fuck all then.
Yeah. Oh, she's going to drop it as soon as these things get within.
I will say, you know what? Because of the size difference too, because you're a sword and board fighter, I'm fine with you just lifting it up with 1 hand and firing.
Yeah, that's pretty much what she's doing. I guess she knows that anyone around her is going to see that she's terrible with it, but she wants to do something.
Okay.
No bonus.
Difficulty
right.
6.
Yep, that's difficulty 6. Nope, nothing.
Okay, so that one goes wild. You have 2 metal as well. You'll get 1 metal back at the start of each turn. Do you want to fire again?
Yeah, she'll do that again. Yep.
Okay.
And why not, right? She's like... Nope.
Yeah. Now, so you could, in theory, spend another metal, take another shot if you'd like, or you could save that metal.
No, she's going to save that one.
Okay,
Yeah.
so if you could reduce your green bar down, yeah, perfect.
Yep.
All right, then it is their turn. So they are fast. They are continuing to pursue. They've been just stalking this thing, so they can move 2 zones. So I think these things will go buzzing into your zone and your zone, and then one will land on the deck to tuck into the Dwarden that are placed there. I need more room for books. Here, put that there. There we go. All right. These things are huge. They're actually even bigger than what you are. So as they land down on the deck, I'll do the one attacking the Dwarden first. And their venomous sting. Ooh, I need more dice.
Oh no!
That's not what I want to hear.
Come on, we're going to join.
Oh no, I have exactly enough. I have exactly enough dice. All right, so they have great versus. It would be good. Yeah, they're probably average, so good with shields. Average, I guess. Okay, so here we go. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oof. So these things, the Dwarden do have medium armor on, so there's at least that. But one of them lands on the deck, and there is first one. It lands on, and that stinger on the end of its thing it's a fly kind of thing. Oh, maybe it's the proboscis at the front. Lands, and just you can hear the horrible squelching as it punches through that metal armor and just buries its face into one of the Karazdreth overlord's chests, and you can hear this blood spurts out from it, and you realize he is beyond saving. One of his fellows races forward, and this thing, with a flick of its mighty wing, sends this armor guy up and over to the other side and off to whatever fate awaits him elsewhere in Shaman. Nox, what is your defense?
Poor.
Okay. Your etheric armor didn't assist that, did it? Just gives you more armor, right?
It gives me more armor, yeah.
Yeah, okay, instead of the defense. That's the difference between the Mythic Shield and the other. The Mythic Shield will add your defenses up.
Oh, let me double check then.
Yeah, so your see always has like defense increases by 1. Just so you can judge for yourself. You can have both Mystic Shield and Etheric Armor on yourself, because one gives you more armor, the other one actually makes you harder to hit.
Yeah, so Etheric Armor is armor.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so I didn't think they'd get in that quickly, otherwise I would have done that. Yeah,
these things are pretty fast. Like they have the fast speed. God, I love this GM screen. Yeah, fast. You can use your move to move up to 2 zones away. So they've come zipping in, and then they are going to attack. They have a difficulty of 2 on this. So here we go.
Hopefully my armor will help.
Yeah. All right. Actually, I roll a lot of 1s. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. 5, 6. So the 7 points of damage.
And armor 4 for now. So that'll 3 go for my toughness.
Your armor is 4 for now.
Yeah.
Oh, because you increased it by 3, right?
Yes.
Okay. Great. Yeah. So 3 points of toughness you take. And then I also ask that you make a difficulty 4 fortitude test. Because these things reek of pestilence.
Where is fortitude?
Anna wishes you luck on it. Fortitude will be one of your skills.
Oh, okay. Difficulty 4?
Difficulty 4, yeah.
Oh, I just screw your poison.
Unfortunately, it is the challenge of is a 3. So that is not good enough. You are poisoned.
I got to get 3 successes to...
You get 3 successes to shake this off. You are poisoned, which means your dice pool is reduced by 1 for all tests until the end of your next turn.
Okay.
So there's a supernatural illness that floods you as it lands on you. And then, Leisha, you have your shield out, so your defense will be up by 1, but I think that's included on your character sheet already. What is your defense right now?
Her defense is 1.
Again, it'll be an adjective.
Okay, sorry. Those are bonuses. Never mind. Defense is great.
Great, excellent. All right, so great versus great. It means that they're rolling against a 4. So this thing lands near you, Alicia. 1, 2, 3, 4 successes. So that is 6 damage.
Okay.
What is your armor? I think is a 3, isn't it?
Yeah, I believe so. Let's see.
So you got heavy armor. In this game, it's pretty easy.
Yep.
Light armor is 1,
3.
medium armor is 2, heavy armor is 3. Okay, so this thing goes in. Now, do you have any talents? Take a quick moment, guys. Take a look at your talents. See if any of your talents would apply in here. Like, for instance, Leisha, I think when you are outnumbered, maybe, you get a bonus. What bulwark, I think, is...
Bulwark, if 2 or more enemies are within close range of you at the start of your turn, your defense increases by 1.
So actually, you would be. That would apply right now.
Okay.
So that would have been a 5, which means you're actually only taking 4 damage.
Okay.
Because I would have...
okay. And then 4 minus 3 is 1.
Exactly. So take 1 away from your blue bar is your toughness.
Okay. I'm just seeing if is toughness on the character sheet, because we're moving that.
It is.
It is.
Bonuses.
Yeah.
Okay. There we go. Got it.
Okay. All right. Then it is the Karadran Overseers. Why don't you each give us a 3d6 roll, please?
Mm-hmm.
Difficulty here will be a 6. So the Karadran on the deck kind of go charging in on that one that killed its ally. They're not able to get in and get a decent hit on this thing.
Mm-hmm.
Nox, you get one medal back. You are poisoned this round. What would you like to do?
Is there a way to reflect that on my sheet?
It'll be not on the sheet necessarily, but when you are prompted for a roll, it'll ask you for, I think a bonus is the last thing it asks for.
Put a -1?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay.
You feel awful right now, and you're...
Yeah, I'm going to decrease my round by 1, so I don't lose track of that armor.
Okay.
Go to 2. Okay. And then, so is this thing like just like a group of swarm, or is it just one big one?
It's one big one.
Okay. And is there any like attacks opportunities for using spells in combat?
Nope.
Okay. So he is going to haul off and try to blast this thing with an arcane bolt, because he doesn't want to blow up the entire field.
Okay.
For his allies.
Okay.
And I think it's a good time to put some metal into this. I'm going to double my focus.
Just double your focus is actually done after you roll.
Okay.
Double training is before the roll. Double focus is after.
Training is how many dice I roll, right?
Correct.
I'll double my training, so that'll make up for the -1. I don't have to roll then.
Oh, excellent. Okay.
So, come on.
So you draw on your focus. Look at that.
And let's see. I got, so that'll be 6 successes if I spend my focus.
Oh, nice. How many? Let's see here.
I got 3 dice.
Yeah. That's so that's fantastic.
Okay,
6. So that
6
is
damage, just all at him.
Amazing. Each additional. Yeah. So it's total number of successes you roll. Fantastic. What does it look like? What does your arcane bolt look like?
So
they typically take on the characteristic of your power or whatever your kind of.
He'll reach into the aether, and his mind just wraps the energy into these fiery darts, and he just pulls from the ether and flings them at the thing. And it's just, instead of just like 4 coming out, it's like 2 of them split off and just digging deeper on it. So
it punches into the thing, scouring away the the rot around this thing. There's a sickening miasma that hangs in the air around these flies. And as you do so, too, you can feel that pestilence that had affected you has burned out of your system. You're no longer poisoned.
And then, can I move behind Leisha?
So, hold on. Moving, let me double check about that. I don't remember if you need to disengage or not.
I don't want to do that.
I think there isn't, because I'm pretty sure there is there's an actual talent that is basically opportunity attacks.
Okay.
She's got something that's going to help you out, which won't require you moving to her. But
okay. I was hoping to drop this thing, but apparently it's still there.
You can move. So you can move to be fighting side to side with Alicia if you like.
Yeah, I would like to do that.
Okay, Alicia, what are you doing? First, add one metal back.
Sure. First, she's going to, and every time you use a talent, it requires one metal. Is that right?
No, it depends on the talent.
Okay. So it's an action. Sorry, never mind. As an action, she's going to choose. It says choose a creature in medium range. I assume it can be closer.
Are you able to display the talent?
Maybe. Hold on.
Yeah, a little bubble.
Oh,
yeah.
Fantastic. Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Say attack. Choose a creature in medium range. I would assume that would be less because it doesn't.
Or less, absolutely. If it gives you a range on something, it's that or less. So any of the three things.
Yep. First question. She really wants to help Nox, but are any of these things like right on top of the hurt?
Dwarven?
I forgot the name. Yeah, the one that everybody's trying to rescue.
No. They've actually Malgra is going and grabbing that guy, and there's one on the deck that is just scattering Karazdreth left and right. He's killed 2 of them so far, and they seem to be unable to face him. He is one. Yep. And then there's the one engaged with you and the one that was engaged with Nox.
Would she be able to use this twice?
Heroic action? Yeah, as long as you got the actions, for sure.
Okay, sure. So she's going to use the heroic action twice, and on both of the ones that are on the deck.
Okay. Well, there's 3 on deck, because there's the one with you, one with Nox, one that's... You mean the one that's facing the Karazdreth?
Yeah, the one that's facing the Karazdreth and the one that's facing Nox.
You got it. Oh, nice. Okay, the ones that aren't on you. Got it. Okay, I'm going to put a gold dot on the ones that you've challenged. Now, what does it look like as you do so?
She basically just screams at them, "Come at me!" Okay,
and there is the force of Sigmar's power behind that.
Yep.
Because your eyes almost blaze with lightning. So that would take your action and 1 metal, but you'd still have 1 metal left over.
And she's going to use that to swing her Sigmarite long sword at. Okay,
so you cast that sword away, draw your Sigmarite sword, and go ahead and make your attack. So let's see the difficult. What is your melee?
My melee is much better.
It's good, isn't it? Good, yes. Yeah. Okay, so the difficulty will be 5 because their defense is great.
Okay, got it.
Okay. And unless there's anything, you have no talent that modifies that?
No. She's got something if this doesn't work next round, but I want that at least.
So go right ahead.
So target number 5, submit. No bonus.
Nice. Okay. Nice. And your 1 focus, can that come into play?
What did I roll?
Yes, it can boost from 4 to 5.
Yep, she will use the focus.
4 successes. That is 5 damage. Tell us what it looks like as you lay into this thing.
Does it kill it?
Nope.
Okay. No. So she basically slices it across the belly. And ichor and whatever else inside starts to flow out. Maybe even a couple of organs. But
okay. Awesome. All right. So then that's all. So you spent 2 metal this round. Then it is the Rotfly's turn. Okay. So this thing.
Now, this does not mean that they necessarily attack her, but it does mean that if they attack anyone else.
Oh, they are happy to accommodate.
Okay.
A thrall to the stinking God King.
Yep.
There's nothing better for agents of the ruinous powers than corrupting one of his playthings. So, let's see here. I don't think... Let me see here. If there is an outnumbered aspect. Let's see here. Bet you it's on the screen.
When can we spend Soulfire? Is that something anytime? Or
anytime. Anytime. Yep.
Okay.
Unless there's a specific timing that's mentioned for it. Okay. What are you thinking?
Oh, I feel like Leisha's about to get ganked on, so... and I know she can't spend it. I'd have to make the... Well, we have to agree, but I'd have to be the one to spend it.
No, you don't actually. So remember, you...
Well, I don't want to increase the doom.
Okay, so the thing is that I would encourage you to not think that way, because it may very well be that Leisha, the way I think there's the wisest way to try and get that game mechanic into play the way the designers intend is for the other players to think what their characters would feel about it.
Okay.
Okay? Because the thing is, the Rising of Doom is just part of the game as well, and to not take advantage of the Soulfire for fear that it might increase that is really robbing yourself of a really valuable resource. And it's sort of... The characters may very well agree with your use of it anyway. So, you could think of it as like, well, we'll work among the players and make sure that we're only using it for things that we agree on. Perfectly valid way to play, but it feels like that would defeat the purpose of the Soulfire anyway, which is to sometimes there will be things you're doing where people are like, no, and the way to think of that is as a good player, I think, is as what your character would feel. Okay. So, just because it is such a badass resource as well. All right, so then, with that said, a resource Alicia cannot draw on. So there is no outnumber thing, which is cool. The game, I think, does a good job of keeping things simple and clean for this, so we're not hunting for a lot of modifiers that would suddenly break the math of the game. But one of them is going to accommodate you, Alicia. That comes in where Nox has tried to hide. Your bulwark would give you a great defense right now, right?
Yes.
Okay. So the first one comes buzzing over. I need 5s. That is, I got 2 successes, so that is 4 points of damage.
So she will take 1.
1 to your toughness, correct. You're keeping that 1 at bay. The second one, I don't get through your armor. The one that's facing you, and then that one that is facing the Dwarden, it kind of buzzes up and then lands down next to you. It will also try and... so your toughness should be a 7 now.
Yes. Oh, sorry, I didn't click out. Okay. I didn't click out because I thought I was going to take more hits, so...
this one is actually they finally managed to kind of get around you. That's 5. That is 7 points of damage.
Oh, she's down. Oh, right. Sorry. Only 4, though. Okay.
Exactly.
Like,
exactly. Okay. And also, rules like one of the advice for game masters in it is that after an encounter, players should have a wound. So if you're the toughness, you can spend. You can't use it, Alicia, because you can't spend Soulfire. But what do you call it? I think you've got a miracle that allows you to restore.
I do. I also have another miracle that I'm planning to use, which
yes.
Yeah.
All right. Would you each give us a 3d6 roll, please? Let's see if the...
Come on, 18.
Yeah.
Damn.
No.
So the Karad, they're trying to help in this as well, but it's just so dangerous. Nox, get 1 medal back, and then what do you want to do?
Alrighty. +1 medal, -1 round of... that, so until the end of my next turn. Alrighty, these things are on Alicia, which I'm right behind. Fireball is just going to hit everyone indiscriminately. I cannot use that on this ship.
I mean, technically, you should not use it. You can.
Yeah. So I'm no longer poisoned, which is good.
And then it wouldn't be Kevin's fault if we if we crash. It's like I did nothing. I put you on a ship.
Okay, I am going to. Theater only counts me. Okay. Does Leisha have something to boost her defense, like magically, that won't stack with my Mystic Shield?
Leisha's already got a great defense against these things.
So I'm going to cast Mythic Shield on myself.
Okay.
A Mystic Shield, but yeah, I only need one success to get it.
Yep.
So I'm going to do that. Okay, so I'll get it for, let's see, 2 focus points. Oh, okay. 3 rounds.
Okay.
Make that a blue shield, and that'll give me +1 to my defense.
Awesome.
And then I think I will spend a metal point.
Nice.
And attempt. Okay. I will attempt to cast Inferno Blades, targeting myself, Nox, and all the other Dwargar allies in the area.
You mean yourself, Leisha, and all the other allies?
Yes.
Okay.
Everyone except the bugs. Screw the bugs.
Okay.
Okay.
Come on. Don't make me spend Soulfire.
Ooh.
I can spend my focus to boost that up 1/4 to a 5, so that's 3 successes.
Excellent. Okay. Then why don't you tell us what this looks like?
So he basically reaches out into the strands again, and this time there's a huge thrum as energy just to the visible eye without the mystic sight. It's like the universe crackles around everybody's blades, and fire pools around the edges and just starts radiating heat.
Incredible.
So if they deal damage, it'll do +1 fire damage, and they will be on fire until
on fire on a ship. Okay.
Well, the creatures will be on fire.
Okay.
It's magic fire, okay?
Okay, got it.
Okay.
So, and they remain on fire until they use their action to extinguish it.
Okay.
And that's my turn.
All right.
Yep.
Leisha, what are you doing? Your sword is now ablaze as well.
So I have a question about it. I'm gonna.
Oh, you got 1 metal back too.
Okay.
Yeah, it's odd. The fire doesn't burn you, but you can feel the heat from it.
Okay. I'm gonna pop this in chat because I don't think I can actually hit a button to have it come up there. So this is with regards to Light of Sigmar. This is one of her miracles.
Yep. Actually, if you click on the miracle, you can display the miracles as well.
Interesting. It doesn't if I. Anyway, but yeah. Okay.
Is there a dice roll? Because I know.
Yeah, there's a dice. There's a manifest button.
That will have the rules in it as well.
Okay. So this is not an actual roll then. But yeah. Okay.
There you go.
So my question is, the cost is 1 metal.
Yes.
It says, so when you use this miracle, you can choose to spend a metal. So I assume that means that I would have to have 2 to do the second part.
Let's see here. You draw upon. Well, no. So miracles don't necessarily, unless it says that you need it. Miracles just take your action in order to manifest, and then you can choose to spend the metal to have it have the damage ignore armor.
Okay, but what I'm saying is that the cost of it does say 1 metal. So is this? So does that mean?
Yeah.
Is it referring to the metal in the effect, or does that mean that's?
No, you would need to spend another metal as well to have it. Yeah.
So she wouldn't be able to do that.
I could spend some soul fire and have you recharge your metal.
I don't think you can. Like, I think the phrasing on Soulfire is you regain your metal. Soulcast or Stormcast Eternals can't take advantage of Soulfire.
Okay. So she's going to try both of her. She's going to try both of her miracles here.
Okay.
The first one is going to be the Light of Sigmar, and so she has to spend 1 metal for it.
Yep.
Okay.
So just remember that the cost is 1 metal, but there's still an action to do it, so you actually won't have an action available to do a second miracle.
I only get 2 actions. One action. One action, one move.
You get one action, one move, yep. And then your action is to use the miracle, but then there's also the cost of metal. Metal, it happens that metal can also be spent to get an extra action.
Got it.
But that you don't get that from this, though.
Yeah. And my flaming sword is only going to last the round, so.
Yeah. Okay, so instead, she is going to... Yep. All right. So instead, she's going to cast Healing Spirit, which does not require metal, although there is a possibility she could use it. She probably won't use that.
Okay.
So let me get my metal back, because she's going to want another action to take advantage of the sword. So she's going to do Healing Spirit instead.
Okay, so go ahead and roll a Devotion check.
Using your soul.
Okay. Devotion check, sure. And target DM?
5, based on the spell.
Okay, got it. No devotion bonus.
Whoa! Look at that.
Successes.
And you have 4, because you can use your focus to boost
So
it
that's
1.
5.
Yep.
So you and all your allies, including Nox, in the zone, recover 4 toughness.
Yes. And she kind of mouths the words, Sigmar, heal us.
Okay. Now you could spend metal to also to add your soul to the amount recovered, or you can use that to take another action.
No, she's going to use that to take an action and swing at the one that she had swung at before.
Okay.
And try to take it out.
So add 4 to your toughness as well.
Add 4 to my toughness. Okay, yep.
And then go ahead and make an attack with your sword whenever you like.
And the flaming thing does what?
+1 damage.
I'd add +1 damage, and they catch on fire if you damage them.
Okay.
So that they'll burn 1 point every time until they put themselves out.
And target DN was 5 or 6?
For your attack on them, your metal's as good as a 5.
Yep. Okay. Oh, and there was +1 bonus?
No, that's a damage. But your focus will get 1 hit out of that.
Okay.
Yep. As long as they take damage, they take the fire damage.
So that is 5. So it's 1 success +1 plus 3 damage total, which does get through. So he takes 2.
You're on fire.
And
I think it was already on fire, right? Or no?
Now it's on fire now.
I'll put a red dot on him to signify fire. All right. So, Leisha, you spent your metal to do that. So, heal, smash this thing. Then it is their turn. All right, let's do this quick here. They're all going to be attacking Leisha. Leisha's defense is great right now, which means I need a 4. No, I need... Hold on. Oh, their attack is... or melee is great. All right, so I need a 4. Oh, fuck, I forgot to get you to make a fortitude save. You could be poisoned, Leisha. Here we go. Number 1. That is not enough damage to get through your armor. Number 2. That is... Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4. That is 6 damage. So there'll be 3 that gets through your armor. Would you give us a fortitude check, please, against difficulty 4?
Fortitude check, difficulty 4.
And you need 3 successes. Oh,
2.
so close.
She does... No, and she does not have any focus.
Okay. So you're... Oh, and...
Can she use... Hold on. I guess metal is the thing that...
Yeah, also you're down to 0 metal right now. You just forgot to adjust.
That's right.
All right.
Yep.
All right, so then what you are poisoned. That means -1 to your dice pools until the end of your next turn.
Okay.
And then
I assume there's a place.
Final one.
You apply it at the end.
3, 4, 5. Ooh. Okay. Once again, this is the one that really gets in there. That is 7 points of damage, meaning you take 4. So you're out of toughness. Your next damage will be wounds.
Okay. Yep.
Okay. But then it is Nox's turn once again. And this one takes... Hold on.
Overseer, Overlords.
-1. Yes. Oh, yeah. Each give us a 3d6 roll, please.
Yes.
No
Come on,
sixes.
do something.
There you go. So that's 2 points of damage. Do you want to hit the one that's on fire?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, it could be the one that's not on fire and catch them on fire, because fire.
Oh,
true,
yeah, right,
yes.
right.
Yeah, so they go after the one that's not on fire.
Okay, so he's down to 3, and he's on fire. All right, Nox, you're back
I'm
up
not
to...
sure they're happy about swinging weapons with fire on it on a ship, but you
Well,
know.
it's too bad for them. I'm gonna reach up in the heavens again and try to renew the flames to keep it going.
Okay.
Yep.
Oh, make sure you get your medal back. 1 medal.
Yeah, I'm gonna end up spinning it anyway. So.
Okay.
Okay, my focus gets me 3 successes.
Okay.
So it's up for another round.
The flames on the blades are still there. Yeah.
And then I'm going to spend my medal to do an arcane bolt.
Okay.
And I think we're going to spend a point of soul fire if everyone's okay with that.
I think Felicia feels like that would be a good use.
Okay. And what are you using it for?
I can see agent.
I'm rolling all 6s, no need to roll.
You got it. So go ahead and click on your roll.
I'm going to be channeling.
Which one are you targeting?
I'm going to channel... Oof. I'm going to try to get this one.
Okay. So go ahead, click on your spell, please. Doesn't matter what your difficulty number is. We've seen you see how many skills. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Says 7 damage. What does it look like as this hyper-powered thing infused with Grungnir's forge burns through that thing?
So you see him call the fire down to the weapons, and then he just raises his fist in the air, and his breastplate like crackles, and knives just form out of it and just straight into it like a shotgun effect. Just rips into it and out the other side.
Oh,
Nice.
so that's when it teeters to the side and then careens overboard.
And there's like the wisp of like white in the fire coming off of him as a bit of that soul energy was expunged from him. He's leaning entirely on his staff.
Okay. Leisha. Gain 1 medal. So you got your 1 medal back now? What are you doing?
Yep. Yes. So back up to 1. She is
My
going to
armor's
swing
gone
at the
now.
one in front of her. She is anticipating that if there's still 2 left, she wants to really put everything into Light of Sigmar again.
Okay.
But she's going to go after the one directly in front,
Okay.
who's damaged.
Who is still scorched as well. So the difficulty will be
Yeah.
5 again?
Okay, but I have a -1.
Yes. So when it goes to the bonus, put a -1 in?
Yep. Okay.
Nice.
Nice.
Oh, can your focus get another hit out of that?
Yes.
Yes.
Fabulous. 4,
So
5,
that's-
6 damage. What's it look like as your burning sword takes this thing down?
She basically aims. She basically hits the same location, but this time it almost severs the thing in 2 as it slices through.
Okay.
And basically, its guts just all over the deck.
Okay, so if the next one hits you, this is where we might start taking wounds.
Yep.
Do you want to spend that metal to use healing again, or are you going to just press on?
With one left, I think. Yes, she's going to use the healing.
Nice.
If both were still there, she was going to save.
Okay. Give us a devotion check, please.
Hold on a second.
Difficulty
She also has a talent, though.
Oh, what's that?
Oh, okay. Never mind. Sorry, that's just the Blessed Sigmar. You have the favor of Sigmar, no healing spirit, and light of. Yeah. So those are her miracles, basically. Okay. So. Whoop.
Yeah.
How do I roll it?
So it doesn't roll. Yeah, just roll devotion.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, difficulty
Devotion.
5.
Difficulty 5 with a -1.
So the poison. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
1 success.
And focus doesn't help there, but you get one back.
And how do you remove
Poison?
poison? Yeah.
For this one, and at the end of your turn.
Okay. Got it.
Yeah. So you have 1 toughness.
Yep.
And then it is this thing's turn. Let's see if it can affect you, Alicia. It is. Oh, and your defenses, because bulwark only is. It's just when you're outnumbered, so you're back down to good. So this is a 3. It's rolling against now.
Yep.
So let's see here. That is 1.
Generally doesn't sound good.
Ooh, okay. That is 5, 6, 7. So it's 7 damage.
Nope.
Which means
4 armor.
So 3 gets through.
3 armor. So yeah, 4 gets through. That means you got 3 excess damage. Let me remind how it works with wounds. Because wounds aren't like a 1-for-1 thing. It depends how much damage is done to determines how many wounds you get.
That's good.
Yeah. It's not a matter. Okay, so if your toughness is reduced to 0, any remaining damage is converted into wounds. 2 to 4 damage is a serious wound, so you fill 2 spaces on your wound track.
Okay.
So, Alicia, and that's your red bar.
Okay, got it.
Okay.
Wounds. There we go. 10.
Managed to hit you. Then it is each roll 3d6, please.
Come on, guys. Now's the time. Ah, so close.
And then, Alicia, if you could roll 3d6 for us.
Yep.
For the Dwarden, for the Karazdran.
Yep, sorry.
Okay. Then it is top of the round. Nox, get your medal back. What are you doing?
Okay, dropping his defense by 1 round, +1 medal. I think he is going to just like try to arcane bolt this thing multiple times.
Okay.
Okay, 2 successes.
Kayvon is in favor of that.
Yes.
I get 4 successes with my focus.
Hell yeah. So that is 4 damage.
And then a -1 medal, and try it again. Come on, Gungnir. Vaporize this creature.
Nice.
That is 5 successes.
Fucking nice one. Look at this.
So he's literally ripping apart the etheric armor that's just falling apart on him and repurposing it and just throwing darts at it with arcane force.
All right. Scorching this thing, it is twitching and trying to get away from the injuries. It is rearing back, trying to hit Leisha once again. Leisha, is your turn.
No more fire.
Okay.
You get 1 medal back.
She swings at the remaining one, and now do wounds also affect?
Nope.
No. Okay. And 5 target number, but still -1.
Yes.
Because she's poisoned.
Nope.
Okay.
No.
Poison's
Remember, your
bad.
poison ended at the end of your turn.
Oh, okay. So no modifiers. Okay.
No modifiers.
Did it go? No. Maybe because I don't have a. Try that again.
Did you cancel the bonus? If so, then
Yeah,
then it would have canceled the whole roll.
Okay.
Look at that.
Oh, look at that.
Nice.
Focus makes that. Nope, doesn't change it.
Doesn't change it, no. So, but what does it look like as you take this? The flames die down this round, but you still have that gleaming Sigmarite longsword. What does it look like as you take down this rot fly?
And she basically brings it up over her head like this and straight through its head.
So, all right. And that thing is down. And at that point, Malgra, you can hear the thunk as she lands with this strange Karazdran who was drifting and unconscious. Well, you can see puncture wounds on his armor, and you can see that there is some discoloration on his flesh, because it appears that he has also taken ill. But we'll deal with that and your injuries next time, because we're unfortunately out of time for today.
Yeah.
So as the battle ends, Nox kind of like straightens up, and there's his flesh is starting to get color back in from expending the soul fire, and he just looks at Leisha and is like, "Ow."
All right, then, for those listening at home, thank you so much for joining us back in the Mortal Realms for another session of Soulbound. As is always the case, if you have any comments, questions, or concerns regarding the session, the quasi-campaign we're playing, or the game, please don't hesitate to leave a comment in the comment section down below, and I will endeavor to reply in a timely fashion. There's also a link down below to the Dungeon Musings Discord server, where we have channels dedicated to this game. So we have a channel dedicated to the Warhammer RPG that we run on the channel, so that includes the 40k games, the fantasy games, and Soulbound. There's also channels dedicated to most of the other games we run on the channel, as well as Find a Group and GM discussion, and currently we're doing the RPG a day exercise. So if you want to participate in that or see what everyone else's comments are, you're more than welcome to join us over there. There's a very friendly and knowledgeable and helpful group that has developed over the years over there. You're more than welcome to join us. There's also a link down below to our friends at Noble Knight Games. Noble Knight Games is the preeminent unionized retailer of hard-to-find and out-of-print RPGs in North America. Not only do they have an amazing selection of new role-playing games, board games, and card games, they have an unmatched selection of hard-to-find and out-of-print RPGs. If they do not have something in stock in their extensive catalog, you can put it on a want list, and they'll send you an email when it comes in. And if you make a purchase of $10 or more through their website, be sure to enter the code MuserMashup, all caps, all one word. It's listed down below, and you will save yourself 10% on your purchase. That'll change at the end of September, so if you are listening to this at another time, come back to one of our more recent videos, and you'll find what the current discount code is there. There's also a link down below to something called Heroes Save Villages. That is the charity fundraising campaign we run on the channel. It benefits the SOS Children's Villages International Charity, a really incredible organization active in over 130 countries, benefiting over 80,000 orphaned and abandoned children. All donations through that link go directly to SOS Children's Villages International. None of it goes to the channel or any other middleman. It just goes to help out the kids who benefit from their services. And as a small way of saying thank you to our generous donors, if you donated $25 or more through that campaign since January 1st, 2024, head on over to the Charity Initiatives channel on the Dungeon Musings Discord server. Again, that link is down below as well. And you will find what we have 5 charity sessions that we're running up between now and the end of year. Each of them is a mashup of a classic adventure paired up with a RPG it was not designed to be run with. So right now, voting is going on for the Expedition to the Barrier Peaks classic module. We have 4 more ones that you will be able to vote on if you've donated $25 or more since the start of the year. Head on over there, cast your vote for which game you want that paired with. Voting for that is open for another day, and then we'll be voting on what heroes will be facing the horrors of the Barrier Peaks. And we have, again, 4 more ones between now and end of year that you'll be able to vote on. The last thing I will say is a huge thank you to our stalwart Soulbound heroes. So Robert and John, thank you so much for joining me back in the Mortal Realms today. That was a lot of fun. Well done on your first combat, too.
It was a lot of fun.
Nice. We will be back in 2 weeks' time, either in the Great White North or back in the Mortal Realms. But until then, we hope that we gave you a few hours to take your mind off the troubles of our world and think about the troubles that our soulbound heroes are facing in the Mortal Realms. And until we see you again, stay safe, stay healthy, and happy gaming.